Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Aniramble, where one man rants and talks about anime or anime-related stuff and runs his mouth incoherently, all for the sake of comedic enjoyment. Brought to you in part by the power of anime. So, tonight's, little episode of Talking and Rambling is about the episodic review of Angels of Death / Satsuriku no Tenshi episode 3. This episode was a very mixed reaction from me, because there were some times where the story writing context didn't make sense. Zach would say, clearly to Eddie, or Edward, which is the name of the Chucky ripoff. He says basically to him, he's like, he was talking to Rachel, not Eddie. He said, was it? Or something along the lines of, really gonna kill this bitch or something like that? Yeah, well, that's actually a good excuse for me to, it's a good example, good idea for, time for me to, bring into light exactly what I'm talking about here. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the line right there that I'm talking about. He says, you're gonna kill her while she still has that boring look. But that doesn't corroborate with something. It doesn't corroborate with the second part of the scene. A few things, or like a scene, a few scenes later, where he says this, clearly directed at Eddie, but a scene later he says, I wasn't talking to you, to Eddie. And he said he's referring to the question to Rachel. And I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. Makes no sense. Why? How is this line directed at Rachel a couple scenes later, a couple lines later? What the fuck? This show has been a bit of a hit and or miss at times. I'm gonna show you, the base picture. Now, when you watch the episode, one thing that I was really annoyed at with a lot of the show was the scene where they were actually scary, intimidating, yet terrifying. But I've never seen such a terrifying level of God boner before. This woman is so dedicated to God that she gets so impetuous, forceful, and aggressive that it's terrifying. I think it's the first time this has actually somewhat scared me a bit, because this is just, what the fuck? She's got a really, really bad case of God boner. Yeah, great. Let's make that a meme. Hashtag God boner. God damn it, fuck my life. There's just, there's just some things that really confused me at times, or annoyed me at certain times. For example, the constant reuse and rehashing of lines like this. saying she must always die. You must kill me. Wah. Like, let's wait until, you know. I mean, I don't mind the lines if they're well deserved, but let's wait until we actually know the circumstances behind. Until we know the circumstances behind everything, we shouldn't really fucking jump the shark with these lines. There's a lot of dialogue in this episode, but I like one thing about this episode particularly, and that's the action coordination. Basically, Eddie is kind of a trickster. He's basically, you know, a terrible version of Dante on Trickster. Always jumping around, dodging shit, always being mischievous. Turning off the lights because, you know, he can see in the dark, but Zack can't. You know, Eddie's a bit creepy and annoying. But I think what I like the best about the episode is the poetic irony of it all. Because he makes this wonderful, beautiful grave dedicated to killing and burying Rachel. And honestly, it surprises me. Because it surprises me because she actually has preferences to who can kill her. I could probably rant and get annoyed at that, but it's like 4:46 in the morning, so I'm probably not going to give an angry ramble on this one. But it does annoy me that she's going to be selective. But whatever. Like, Rachel's motivations don't make sense. The only person, like, right, I would describe their entire character axis situation as WWE logic. Basically, right now, the current WWE logic is that all of the main protagonists make no fucking sense, and all the, you know, bad guys with no morals make all the sense in the fucking world. And honestly, it's kind of a weird sense of logic. But that's just the state of WWE logic, and that's the state of logic for this show. There's a lot of small stuff that annoyed me or intrigued me, but I think... Oh, stuff like, you know, like, only this show can make God himself seem like an edgelord. But in the end, I enjoyed the episode for many reasons. Oh, this scene right here made me laugh a little bit because this is just, you know, hilarious. Do you really have to keep saying that? Like, Zack was on point with, like, everything I wanted to say to her in this episode. It was fucking amazing in the many regard. Like him calling Eddie a little shit. But I think, in the end, what made it all right for me was this picture. A cute, often warm smile. I think that's really what I watch this show for. Rachel Gardner. And I think that just seeing her smile is rather heartwarming. I'm gonna rate this out of I'm gonna rate this out of 10 here. I'm gonna start trying to do rankings for. I'm gonna start trying to do SAO or episode ratings for these shows. I'm gonna say that the direction is absolutely horrendous. Yes, I'm going to be using the iRate standard. The soundtrack I don't really pay attention to. The writing's all right. Not a good episode. Not a bad episode. And overall, I think it's just, yeah. I think it did a good job overall. but not good enough to warrant anything. A good rating. I'm gonna give this episode a 2.5 out of 10. Sorry, but this episode was not particularly good. I'm actually changing the color for that. That is the rating I will give this episode. I think 2.5 out of 10 is a very fair review, or a very fair ramble. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not liked this video, please do so. Make sure to share this all over the web and to tweet and retweet on Twitter. Subscribe if you are new. And click that bell to be notified of more of my one-man content. Follow me at Twitch at OneManCast, at Periscope at OneManCast, at Mixer at Bloody Renaissance, and on Twitter at OneManCast346. Make sure to watch every single video on the end card until the end, and to see more of my playlists and gameplays and all this other stuff for more content. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am One Man on ODYSSEY.